In the 1980s, when I used to go to Lebanon quite often while things were terrible out there, I met a man in the 70s actually by the name of Sammy Dagher. Sammy Dagher is yay high. Probably makes John Wesley look like he plays for basketball or something like that. You know, he's a tiny little teddy bear of a guy. But he expends more energy in saying good morning than most people would in a whole sermon. How are you, my friend? Yeah, that's what he talks. He got caught in North Carolina for going through a red light, and you know what he told the police officer when he was visiting his son? He said, Mr. Officer, in Beirut, when we see a red light, we think it's Christmas time. That's Sammy Dagher. So Sammy knows no fear, and that's the problem. I was thrown with him going through the country, and he knew no fear. And so his wife, who's English, Joy, they were telling me this story. He was driving at 11 o'clock at night during curfew. Everybody else is home. Sammy is driving to visit somebody. And as he's driving, he sees a suitcase on the side of the road. Now, you don't pick up a suitcase on the side of any road, particularly in Beirut. And he looks at Joy and says, darling, there is a suitcase on the side of the road. She says, Sammy, I can see it. And it's not ours. Let's keep going. He says, but it is somebody's. He pulls up and he pats it. He says, it's full. She says, Sammy, please leave it and let's go home. You know. And he says, no, somebody has lost it. So he lifts this thing, puts it in the trunk of his car. And if I were him, I'd walk home, but I wouldn't go with him. You know, he drives it back, goes there, opens the lock, opens it, packed to every square inch with money. Nobody ever has that experience and says, why me, Lord? So he looks at that, empties it out, and there's a business card. And he calls the man. He says, have you lost anything? The man pauses and says, have you found it? Man is shocked. He says, I'm coming right now. He said, look, it's curfew. If I had any other plans for this, I wouldn't be calling you. You come tomorrow, I'll give it to you. So the man comes the next day, and he's staring at Sammy. He can't believe this. Who is this man who's turned in all this suitcase full of money? And so finally he puts his hand in, takes that, and says, here, you're a pastor, give this to the church. Sammy says, we take that on Sunday morning, you come and put it in. So he invites the guy, he comes in on Sunday, and he couldn't believe what he heard, couldn't believe what he saw, music, song, praise. He said, I want to bring my whole family to meet you. I happened to be there that day when he came. That's how I know the story. Sammy was going to take me back to the boat so that I could go to Cyprus. The airport was closed at that time. And this man comes with his wife and his children to meet a man who had such honor. You know what Sammy says to him? You think you got all your treasure back. That's what you think. I want you to know this is nothing. Moth and rust are going to corrupt this. He said, have you ever wondered how many people outside of Beirut are looking for Lebanese money? You thought you had your riches. He said, I'll give you the thing that is the greatest treasure of all. And he gave him a Bible. He said, read it, study it, give your life to Jesus Christ. This is his word. This is the word of God. The guy sitting there with tears running down his face as I'm being told in interpretation what is being said. He takes the Bible, kisses it, won't take it away from his lips because he's just met a man who lived it out and demonstrated that's where the treasure really lies. You do not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God.